Hey decision makers, this is a Bible study and it is at Sabbath School, www.sabbath.school/lesson book. Okay. If you're looking at the lesson, you'll see what it's all about. I think it's really helpful for a person to have a relationship with God, to develop their relationship with God, to do this, for sure. Just the study is very helpful. And there's a format. You can see it on the page. So it's just the reading for today. Isaiah 7:14 to 16. Therefore the Lord himself will give you a sign. The virgin will conceive and give birth to a son, and he will call him Emmanuel. He will be eating curds and honey when he knows enough to reject the wrong and choose the right. For before the boy knows enough to reject the wrong and choose the right, the land of the two kings you dread will be laid waste. This is Isaiah 7:17 to 25. The Lord will bring on you and on your people and on the house of your father a time unlike any since Ephraim broke away. From Judah he will bring the king of Assyria. Assyria, the Lord's instrument. In that day the Lord will whistle for flies from the Nile Delta in Egypt, and for bees from the land of Assyria. They will all come and settle in the steep ravines and in the crevices in the rocks, on all the thorn bushes and at all the water holes. In that day the Lord will use a razor hired from beyond the Euphrates River, the king of Assyria, to shave your head and private parts, and to cut off your beard. Also, in that day a person will keep alive a young cow and 2 goats, and because of the abundance of the milk they give, there will be curds to eat. All who remain in the land will eat curds and honey. In that day, in every place where there were 1,000 vines worth 1,000 silver shekels, there will be only briars and thorns. Hunters will go there with bow and arrow, for the land will be covered with briars and thorns. As for all the hills once cultivated by the hoe, you will no longer go there for fear of the briars and thorns. They will become places where cattle are turned loose and where sheep run. Isaiah 8:1 to 10. Isaiah and his children as signs. The Lord said to me, take a large scroll and write on it with an ordinary pen, Meir Shalal Hashbaz. So I called in Uriah the priest and Zechariah, son of Jeberechiah, as reliable witnesses for me. Then I made love to the prophetess, and she conceived and gave birth to a son. And the Lord said to me, name him Meir Shalal Hashbaz, for before the boy knows how to say my father or my mother, the wealth of Damascus and the plunder of Samaria will be carried off by the king of Assyria. The Lord spoke to me again. Because this people has rejected the gently flowing waters of Shiloah, and rejoices over Rezin and the son of Remaliah, therefore the Lord is about to bring against them the mighty floodwaters of the Euphrates, the king of Assyria with all his pomp. It will overflow all its channels, run over all its banks, and sweep on into Judah, swirling over it, passing through it, and reaching up to the neck. Its outspread wings will cover the breadth of your land, Emmanuel. Raise the war cry, you nations, and be shattered. Listen, all you distant lands, prepare for battle and be shattered. Prepare for battle and be shattered. Devise your strategy, but it will be thwarted. Propose your plan, but it will not stand, for God is with us. I get really into these. They're interesting. Isaiah 8:11-15. This is what the Lord says to me with his strong hand upon me, warning me not to follow the way of this people. Do not call conspiracy everything this people calls a conspiracy. Do not fear what they fear, and do not dread it. The Lord Almighty, and fear is reverential awe. The Lord Almighty is the one you are to regard as holy. He is the one you are to fear. He is the one you are to dread. He will be a holy place for both Israel and Judah. He will be a stone that causes people to stumble, and a rock that makes them fall. And for the people of Jerusalem he will be a trap and a snare. Many of them will stumble, they will fall and be broken. They will be snared and captured. My keyboard closed. It's untypical. If I try to click on it, sometimes it closes the tab. Okay, I did go to it. Isaiah 8:16-22. Very narrow space to read. Bind up his testimony of warning, and seal up God's instruction among my disciples. I will wait for the Lord, who is hiding his face from the descendants of Jacob. I will put my trust in him. Here am I, and the children the Lord has given me. We are signs and symbols in Israel from the Lord Almighty, who dwells on Mount Zion. The darkness turns to light. When someone tells you to consult mediums and spirits who whisper and mutter, should not be a people inquire of their God? Should not a people inquire of their God? Why consult the dead on behalf of the living? I guess that goes back to, should not a people inquire of their God? Anyway, there's a whole study ahead, so consult God's instruction and the testimony of warning. If anyone does not speak according to this word, they have no light of dawn. Distressed and hungry, they will roam through the land. When they are famished, they will become enraged, and looking upward, will curse their king and their God. Then they will look toward the earth and see only distress and darkness and fearful gloom. See, when they say fear, again, reverential awe is what they mean many times in the Bible when they say fear. But this time, anyway, there's always a better word from time to time. And they will be thrust into utter darkness. Okay, so I guess that's the reading. So my keyboard still won't close, so that's a real scenario. How am I supposed to close anything? Okay, I can see the snippet. Bye.